as we talk today, because I was monitoring the district with, I was monitoring the district with, sorry, I beg your pardon. I was monitoring the hospital with district officials last month. The administrator informed us of the problems, and among them is that 28% of the staffing level. And this is what I got from them. If need be, it can further be investigated, but it's on paper. So,
honorable members, when we talk about the national average of the health center, the coverage, we look at the coverage, and which would indeed maybe be higher. We can say the national average is at 70% for the whole country. But when you make individual analysis, you'll find Kampala is at 80, Madiokolo is at 10, Edakasi's place is at 15. So that's where it brings in a problem. But when you look at it, you aggregate it, it becomes a national average, which goes high. So I think we need to look at district by district, look at the whole country in totality for us to be able to appreciate what is happening. And let's look at the cost-benefit analysis. The issue of recruitment, banning recruitment vis-a-vis people's lives. Whom are we keeping that money for? We need to have these people treated. We need to have medical workers in place, and we move on. Yes, Zombo.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Okumu Gabriel, Member of Parliament for Koro County in Zombo District. I would like to thank you for your communication. But as a parent, I was touched when you said we are facing difficult times and that the children are coming back from school. I would like to add my voice to yours that as parents, we should try to instill morals into our children. We should try at least to give time and take children to church. We should try and engage the children in sports. And above all, the children who are coming back home should at least be supportive to the parents. I think in both ways, both parties will actually benefit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Some parents even call you uncles because you leave when they are sleeping, you go back when they are sleeping. So they say uncle was here. Yes, natural resources.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable, I'm still also raising clarification to the Right Honorable Prime Minister regarding this ban on recruitment. If there is...
We have made a ruling to that effect, that the ban should not be there. Let's make analysis and see what is the issue.
Right Honorable, if you could just give me, the point I'm talking about is really in respect to those doctors who sacrificed during COVID. This was the worst situation ever when people were dying, and even the health workers would get called to go to the front line to save our lives. Up to now, even when Cabinet passed a resolution to recruit those doctors who sacrificed during COVID, nothing has been done. So really, this is the gravest disservice that are being done to the doctors of this country, to sacrifice your life, and yet you cannot be given a permanent employment. The doctors are floating. And most importantly, Right Honorable Speaker, now universities are channeling out over 6,000 doctors, and yet we lack doctors in all our health facilities. So Right Honorable, really, the faster government comes up with a clear recruitment plan for the health sector, the better for our country. I beg to submit, Right Honorable.
Honorable Kera.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You talked about medicines in the hospital. I want to implore the government, when it is dispatching medicine to our general hospitals, it normally sends us messages of NMS that we have dropped the medicine. But I want to suggest that before dropping the medicine, they should give us information such that probably we are there and we totally be witnesses to this dispatching. Then we will know that this amount is enough or not enough. So it will help us in the monitoring of these medicines in our hospital. I submit.
Thank you. Joyce. Honorable Chut.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mine is about your communication regarding the plight of journalists in Uganda, and to say that private media owners should be compelled to pay these journalists, because you cannot ask for integrity from journalists that you have not paid. I, as the Shadow Minister for Information, have received a petition from employees of CTV. Over 60 employees have not been paid for more than a year. They were last paid in February last year, and the owner of CTV, I think Brutus, has sold CTV to a pastor without paying them. And I think these private business owners should be compelled to pay the journalists who work for them. But also, Right Honorable Speaker, in regards to the human rights violations of journalists, you find that journalists are abused on duty. Just recently, you all watched during the demonstration of medical interns, when journalists were from NBS television, Thomas Chitimbo and Isano, they are both photographers, were pepper sprayed, and the officer was very much identified, and we have not seen anything done to these officers. We would like to appeal to the Internal Affairs Ministry to take action against these officers, and for these actions to be made public. Thank you.
Honorable members, aren't we finishing all the time on communication? The Prime Minister has another meeting. She has to make her presentation. Can I hear from Honorable Chut?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to also react on the matters to do with health on 3 issues. The first, on the issue of interns. The ministerial policy statement and the report are indicated as an unfunded priority on the budget for interns for next financial year. What is allocated is 8 billion. What they need is 80 billion. I really request that the budget committee makes that consideration. The second issue, Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of HR recruitment, it's not only an issue about money, it's also an issue about the policy on recruitment. Last financial year, Mulago Hospital returned more than 2 billion shillings on human resource. And the reason why that is happening is that Health Service Commission needs about 9 months to recruit, but the funds are released in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter, and in the end, they cannot recruit and it goes back. So that this be considered this coming financial year, that this budget be provided so that the equipment can be functionalized.
Thank you. Honorable members with the matters of national importance will handle it tomorrow during Prime Minister's time. Is it a reaction to the communication? No repeating issues of recruitment, of health centers, no repeating. Yes, Tom.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, there's need for ordinance. There's need for bylaws by the local governments, and especially in regards to our children who have come for holidays. There's what we call loose and reckless lifestyles by these children, where they go for disco dancing, they go for casinos, sports betting.
Honorable Azar, don't give government to do parenting for you. Go and do your parenting. Tell your children the do's and the don'ts.
Yes.
be a parent at home.
Exactly, and that's what
Okay.
I'm trying to, yeah. That's in
Yeah,
reaction to
but-
what you have just said.
Don't disappear from home the whole day. You don't know where the children are. You
Uh,
don't know what they are doing.
ex-
Children are being sodomized somewhere, and for you, just your work is to put the children there.
Most obliged, right, Honorable? Thank you very much.
Honorable Mujuche, then Ashara.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I don't want to repeat what has been said. I want to emphasize. I've been demanding the Ministry of Information, ICT and National Guidance to institute a tribunal to deal with conflicts between media houses and UCC and government. Without this tribunal, what we are talking about will not be actualized. So I would think that as a president on their day, the Media Freedom Day, the government can give this to them as a gift. And so we know that once there are conflicts, that will be sorted. Finally, on the issue of health, I come from Buhweju. Since October, we have not received medicines. Since October last year. I raised it some time back here, and the minister informed me that something was going to happen. The Minister of Health. I have just talked to the DHO. They have no medicines, including egometrin for the mothers. And I know the Prime Minister loves her so much. She's a very determined woman. I worked with her in the Parliamentary Commission. I know her capacity. Please think about us. Thank you very much.
Honorable Prime Minister, the medicine he's talking about is a very important medicine for women. And I know you're a mother. You believe in protecting women out there. Can you make a follow-up on delivery of medicine to all the hospitals in Uganda? You can start with Buhweju, but all hospitals in Uganda. Achora? Then
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you for your communication, especially issues of absenteeism that you brought it out for the health workers in the government and private health centers. I want to bring to your attention and to attention of my colleagues, members of parliament of this country, that the Ministry of Health early this year, they made a resolution to all the nursing assistants of this country who work tirelessly to support the health service delivery, that they are supposed to lay down their tools by June this year. And Madam Speaker, well aware that we already have a low staffing level countrywide in health sectors and other sectors. They normally say that health is wealth. Now, when they lay down tools for the health assistants, the nursing assistants, who are the ones who does the donkey works besides the village health team? I don't know how the country is going to move right, because as we well know, that in the next financial year, there is no wage bill for recruitment in this country, whether in health sectors, whether in education and all the other departments. I am appealing through your office, Madam Speaker, to the Ministry of Health to put into consideration not to lay down tools of the nursing assistants unless these people work until their retirement age and then their service is disbanded. We will be very grateful. For example, in Lamour district, we have refugees, over 95 of South Sudanese, and every day we have more than 200 people who come to that district. And yet we even don't have a general hospital for that district. And we have very low staffing level in that district. What about the other district that I have not mentioned? We want to appeal to the government not to lay down tools of LS work, the nursing assistants. Let them continue working. Right, Honorable Prime Minister, I beg you, you are the leader of government business. Do something for the nursing assistants. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the nursing assistants. The Minister of Health is here. And I know she has an answer. But in the year 2021, we all agreed that we phase out nursing assistants. And that is the policy of government. We agreed that come June this year, we shall now have that higher cadre of staff. And we also agreed that those nursing assistants were given opportunity for like 6 years to upgrade. There are those who have upgraded, but there are those who have failed to upgrade. So we shall.
Honorable Prime Minister, much as there was an agreement, what members are saying, there is again a ban on recruitment. What do we do on the ban?
As you all know, our budget of 50 trillion. You know that our budget, almost 17 trillion, is servicing our loans. So we remain with almost 33 trillion. Out of 33 trillion, when you reduce wage.
Honorable Minister, it is not 33, it's about 25. No, let Honorable Minister finish, but I was just making a correction, and we are in agreement.
Yes.
That much of the money goes for loan payment.
So, colleagues, we all agreed here that we reduce on the appetite to borrow and only go for concessional loans. So we cannot use loans to pay our workers. The answer is we need to all of us mobilize and have more money. We mobilize and
yes, clarification. Order, she is not on the floor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, what was agreed in this House that the training of nursing, what we agreed was the training should be stopped because it was kind of a confused course, which was not very clear. The stopping of the officers from offering services took all of us by surprise. This House did not agree that the serving officers be terminated without a plan. What was agreed in this House was the training be stopped and have a better training package for this country. So I want to seek clarification from the Right Honorable Prime Minister, whether indeed it is true that this House agreed that the officers be terminated without a clear plan of their phasing out. Because what has happened in our constituencies is that actually officers were laid even off and put off payroll without a way out of the services. So I would like to seek clarification from where this House actually agreed that people's services be terminated without a plan, without a way forward for them. Yes, I can take that information.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Isa, for the information. The information I'd like to give you is that Right Honorable Prime Minister, aware that currently all health center tools are being aided by the nursing assistants all over the country, especially in my district, Amoro. Most of the in-charges are nursing assistants. And right now, Right Honorable Prime Minister, aware that if you wipe off the nursing assistants, I am telling you the staffing levels in most of the districts shall go down completely. The idea.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The problem, you're all disorganized. Now you all sit. Next item.
Item Item 3, statement by the Prime Minister on the brutal arrest of members of Parliament on Thursday, 27th April 2023.
Honorable members, you all recall and you witness the brutal manner in which some members, our members of Parliament, were arrested by both uniformed and plain clothes security personnel. That was on 27 April 2023 near the main gate of Parliament. And my presumption is when you are within the premise of Parliament, you have all the immunity and all the safety. You should not be arrested in a brutal way like that. You can only do it outside the gate of Parliament. So I want, no, if somebody is a criminal, you can only, even a criminal, you can't arrest within Parliament like that. So for me, that one, on the issues of arresting people within the premise of Parliament in a brutal way like that was not called for. As the head of the institution, I want to register my apology to the members of Parliament for that incident, because it is not supposed to happen within the premise of Parliament. This was not an isolated incident. Over the last few weeks, we have witnessed systematic pattern of disruption of constituency activities of members of Parliament, women members of Parliament, especially opposition women members of Parliament. And for me, what is paramount here, whether you're opposition or you're in government or you're what, you're all members of Parliament. Because yesterday I was opposition, today I'm in government. You never know what happens. Whereas the matter of brutal arrest of the MPs was raised in this house, and while the members were released shortly after we picked the members from police, the presiding officer then requested the leader of government business to come and make a presentation, a submission to this house in regard to the brutal arrest of members of Parliament. And as you know, Article 23 of the Constitution is instructive in protection of personal liberty. Article 23(3) prescribes the manner of conducting an arrest. Unlawful arrest is not acceptable. The representatives of the people in this house have been brutalized, have been beaten. Honorable Susan was admitted in Rubaga Hospital in a very bad condition, very, very bad condition. And Madam Prime Minister, it is my responsibility and you, first of all, as women, to protect these women. It is also our responsibility as leaders of this country to help the president. And I'm saying to help the president, to help government. You will find that these people who are arresting these girls are opposition in uniform. If they are not opposition in uniform, then they wouldn't do that. Huh? If you see somebody is protesting and the person has a placard, you move behind that person and see whether that person can do anything. You cannot carry a woman. That woman you're carrying, that woman you're arresting is either your wife, your daughter, your mother, or your sister. Honorable Nyakato told me they pressed her breast. Honorable members, I want to guide this way. I want us to debate this. The Prime Minister is going to make a presentation. But I want us to debate this with all the soberness. With all the soberness. If you start behaving funny, what we want is a solution. We want a solution to this issue. If we are going to say members should be allowed to conduct activities in their constituencies, so long as they are not harmful. Holding a Women's Day, there's nobody who's going to go to Bouquet there and say, I want to be a guest of honor. When I'm a woman member of parliament, never. That one, you must guard your space. Guard your space, Honorable Prime Minister. There is nobody, I know you, Majagere, you can even box somebody. I don't think you can even allow anybody to go to your constituency to be a chief guest. You stopped. Okay, very good. Now you're a very good girl. Please you're welcome. And we are going to have this according to Rule 52(1) of the Rules of Procedure. The minister will present, and our debate will not go beyond 1 hour. Okay? Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Invariably, sobriety cannot elude us when debating very serious matters. This is the House of Parliament, and I suppose the public construes it as such. Before the Prime Minister of the Republic makes her statement on the subject matter, she must prove to this parliament that she's a serious person. Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable.
How I wish I could
Honorable. Honorable Mpoga. Honorable Mpoga. There are some things we have agreed. I have said, let's not put personal feelings in this. By the time the Prime Minister comes, she called me, can you all keep quiet? By the time she comes to the house, she was in Chankwanzi. And I told her, you must come to the house. The issue is about the women. She's serious. She's a very serious person.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. And I can see, Right Honorable Speaker, that the Prime Minister is visibly angry with my use of the word serious. And I will conceptualize it, Right Honorable Speaker.
You just withdraw your statement, Honorable. I beg of you,
Right Honorable Speaker,
for us to have this thing go conclusive.
I am going to withdraw as my last statement. Right Honorable Speaker, at the beginning of this session, with your indulgence, I played a video in this House of Parliament quoting the Prime Minister about a citizen that has disappeared for 3 years.
Now you're destroying my women's debate.
Oh, no, Speaker, allow me to make my statement. The Prime Minister was supposed, you ordered the Prime Minister.
There is an order from the Prime Minister.
As a woman, she needs respect like any other woman.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. I became Prime Minister. I'm almost making 2 years since when I became the Prime Minister. I have tried my level best to serve my country. I am one of those patriotic Ugandans.
You have not tried, you have done it.
Is it in order for my brother to say that I am unserious? Is it in order?
Honorable Prime Minister. Honorable Prime Minister, I know you as a very serious person. And that's why you're here.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I said, I'll withdraw after making my statement. Right Honorable Speaker, this is unlike me, and I should be understood. Right Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister has been in office for 3 years. For 2 years. She made a comment that she is in the knowledge of a citizen that has disappeared will be 3 years on 3rd June this year.
Honorable Mpunga.
Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to make this statement.
Honorable Law, I will allow you to make that statement after we have discussed about the women. Why are you being discriminative? Why don't you want us to talk about our
You
women?
know, Right Honorable Speaker, it's after that she's proved that she was either lying, that she listen to her statement as serious.
No.
We are putting into context her statement because that statement she made that she's aware of the whereabouts of Chibalama, and she's never surrendered him to the public, and she wants us to listen to her on another statement. That's why I was putting seriousness in the context. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, will the Prime Minister rise and inform the country where Chibalama is so that we can listen to her as a serious leader in this country? You said you know where he is. The family for 2 years and 11 months is looking for Chibalama. Only you know where he is. Will you tell us where a husband of a woman and a father is? You said you know.
Is it in the